Hello everyone. Welcome back to the channel. My name is Emily. I am super excited to start this vlog with you guys. And it's specifically for series books that I'm working on this month. I want to showcase 4 books during this vlog. And I just wanted to introduce them right now and sort of what series they're in, things like that. So the first one, and I have talked about these previously, so they're not new, is The Rules of Matrimony by Annika R. Walker. This is the 4th book in the A Matchmaking Mama's Romance. And that's a proper romance, so I am really excited for that one. And after I read this one and this next one, I will be caught up with what is out. So that's exciting. The next one is also not a new one. Echoes of the Sea, that I talked about previously, by Sarah M. Eden. This is the 2nd in the series so far. I have no idea if either of these will have more. If I had to guess, I would say no on this series and possibly on this series. So I don't know what that's all about. This is time travel. It looks like our main guy is modern day Hollywood, and he travels back to 1803. So that should be fun. I'm excited for that. And this won the poll on my Instagram, so yay there. And then this one is about a group of friends who have very meddlesome female matriarchal characters in their lives, whether moms, grandmas, etc. And they set them up with people. And our main guy, Ian, he's sort of the leader, I would say. He has been adamant during the last 3 books. He's like, I am never doing this. You all are crazy. This isn't happening. And so this is his love story. So that's going to be fun. The next 2 are some of my very, very long series that I'm working on. The next one is Mrs. Jeffries Reveals Her Art by Emily Brightwell. The covers are not fantastic, but it's what's on inside that counts, right? And the back, I read the back, and nothing is spoilery, so I'm going to read it to you guys because it's just adorable the way that it's written. An artist's model never shows up to Neville Grant's house, nor was expected according to cranky Mr. Grant. But with all of his ranting and raving, it was hard getting a straight answer. Then one of the Grant's house guests suddenly dies right before their eyes, and it's no accident. Now Mrs. Jeffries has to work double time to find the missing model and the killer. And she'll have to get her whole staff involved before someone else becomes the next subject. She keeps house for Inspector Witherspoon and keeps him on his toes. Everyone's awed by his Scotland Yard success, but they don't know about his secret weapon. So I'm really excited about this one. That's going to be a blast. These are really fun, easy, digestible. Everything gets wrapped up at the end, other than sort of the overarching characters of the staff, if that makes sense. And then the next one, again, is from one of those very long series that I've told you guys about. This is the Amelia Peabody Mystery Series. My arm's starting to hurt. Sorry, it's getting a little shaky. My bad. The Ape Who Guards the Balance by Elizabeth Peters. This is an Amelia Peabody Mystery Series. I can't remember if I said that or not. This is early 1900s. We follow Amelia Peabody and her family to Egypt to work on digs and in tombs and in pyramids and all sorts of fun things. These are a little bit chunkier, and again, this cover, so sad. So sad. There are quite a few covers out there. This is just what my library had. Anywho, very, very long books themselves and a long series. I think there's 20 books in the series total. But you get hooked right away. It is so wonderful. And so those are the 4 books that I will be reading this month. We are I don't know what, today's the 2nd, that's right, February 2nd. So I wanted to start this early in the month so that I knew it was started, ready to go, that as I read these, I knew I could just update as I went. So that's exciting. I will talk to you guys again soon. Bye. Okay, you guys, I have an update. So last week I was sick in bed, so I just sort of cruised through 2 out of the 4 books that I want to read for this series vlog. So the first one that I finished was a Mrs. Jeffries mystery. This is Mrs. Jeffries Reveals Her Art by Emily Brightwell. Really, really cute. You follow this household, you follow this household of workers who help their inspector, who is an inspector for Scotland Yard, solve his mysteries. It's really cute. And by this time, you know all the characters. You know the inspector, you know all of the people that work with the inspector. You understand Mrs. Jeffries and her role. And in this one, we follow, oh, that's right, these are art brokers. So they enjoy art and there's artists involved, but they also sell and sort of trade art around. And in this one, it was interesting because there were kind of 2 simultaneous things that happened. Someone gets killed in this art broker's house while there's a party going on, but then also the Scotland Yard inspectors are called in because there's a missing girl and she was tied to that house. She was a model. So she was tied to this house. And so Mrs. Jeffries and the rest of the staff sort of have to sort of divide and conquer on both of these things to help their inspector figure everything out. It was really, really cute. I will say there's no explicit scenes or no language that I can remember, and I'm pretty sensitive to that. But I will say that some of the characters, especially in past books, not necessarily in this one, there are more modern themes. So keep that in mind, that because this is Victorian England, when modern themes come in, at least for me, it sort of jars me a little bit because I don't expect that. So keep that in mind as you're reading. But these are adorable, super fast paced. This looks bigger because it's the large print. It's the only one that the library had. But they're super fast. They're really digestible. The endings always wrap up. So really the only thing that carries over from one book to another are the characters. And so reading them in order is going to be important because you do learn and start falling in love with the characters and sort of their personalities and the cute little mongrel dog that comes in and everyone falls in love with him, stuff like that. So I finished that one just, I think, within a day of being sick. And then this next one is one of my favorite mystery series. I think it's considered mystery suspense. It's light on both, but perfect for me because I have an active imagination as it is. I don't need anything else put into my brain. So this is the Amelia Peabody mystery series by Elizabeth Peters, The Ape Who Guards the Balance. So in this series, we follow Amelia Peabody, who she is an archaeologist in Egypt, and so she's from England. And this one, there's a lot of suffragette talk, which is always fun for me to learn about. I love that topic. And so again, these are really important to read in order because sort of the bad guy continues on throughout the entire series. And it's written sort of as a memoir because she talks to the reader and her editor of her private journals. They're not dated or anything like that, but they read sort of as memoirs of her personal thoughts and like, maybe I should edit this out or things like that. They read very, very easily. And what I love about this one is because now that her family is getting older, different manuscripts from her kids are playing a role in this. And so you're seeing it's in first person from Amelia's perspective. But now that all these other different manuscripts are coming in, you're seeing the same scene from her children's perspective as they're getting older. And I'm really loving that aspect of it. I will say that because she is married, she and her husband do married people things. Everything is closed door. You know nothing. There's no explicitness in those scenes. You know that they're being a husband and wife. And I will say that there is a little bit of language, nothing explicit, nothing that would be beeped out watching a show or whatever. But the husband in these, he's sort of a bull in a china shop. And I think it's funny because when he's mad, he says, "Darnation," but he says the swear word of it. And it kind of makes me giggle just because that's really the only time there's something like that. The rest of the time he starts and then Amelia's like, "Watch your language." And so it's cute. There's that. But then every time, when he says that word that he's really, really upset, or that his wife has angered him because she's gone off and done sort of her own thing. Anyway, so just keep that in mind if you're sensitive to those sort of things. I love these. They are a little bit on the thicker side, but they read so fast. Definitely read them in order so that you know exactly what's happening. And if you are reading the first one, if you start with the first one, obviously, get past the first chapter. They're really, really long chapters, like an hour long. So get past the first chapter in that first book and you'll be hooked. Just a little tip. Okay, so I finished those really, really quickly. So half of the books are done for this vlog. Woohoo! I am still working on Echoes of the Sea by Sarah M. Eden, and then Rules of Matrimony by Annika R. Walker. I haven't even started this. This is a rollover from last month. I have got to get to this. I will. We're at the 17th today. Totally will get to it. No problemo. This one, I am in chapter 3. So I have started this a little bit. It's really, really cute. Modern day actor dude gets sent back in time to 1803. So I haven't gotten to that part yet. We've just met both of these characters on their own. They haven't met yet or anything. So definitely have some ways to go there. And then I've got to start this puppy. So that is the update. I just wanted to make sure that I was updating you guys on everything that I've been doing. Gotta love sickness for good reading time. Anyway, I will update you again as soon as I have some more things to say. Bye. Okay, I finished it and it was 5 stars, easy. I have said this many times and I will say it again. She is one of my favorite authors, hands down. This is the second in a duology, but they are, the only similarity is that there's the time travel aspect of it, truly. This is Echoes of the Sea, a Storm Tide romance by Sarah M. Eden. I love this one so much more than the first one. I loved it. We follow Kipling, who is modern day actor. He's American, but he works in England, and he is an actor. Did I just say that? I can't remember. But he's fallen on some tough times with his acting career, and so he gets this job reenacting sort of 1800s things. But then as part of this, he gets sucked back into 1803. So he thinks that all of these people are just acting, and he's really confused on why they are staying in character and different things like that. He meets our main female character. I literally just finished Amelia. I finished it like 2 seconds ago. You'd think I remember the names. No, apparently not. Anyway, Amelia, and she is sort of marooned on this island from her family. Her grandfather left her sort of an impossible task to get her inheritance. And so she has to stay on this island, on this house, and make it better than she found it to receive her inheritance. And that just happens to be where Kipling pops up in 1803. It is adorable. Their romance is just the cutest thing ever. I love this one because there's not jumping back and forth in time. In the first one, we jump back and forth a couple of times to help people in the different timeline. And that was not my favorite to read. And the ending was not my favorite as well. The ending here was absolutely brilliant. They learn to work together. They learn each other's differences. And I've found recently, and I'll probably say this again in my wrap up for the month, but I have found that I do not like passive female characters. I read a couple of books this month that have passive female characters, and it irks me. So there was something, I was listening to it, so I didn't quite get the exact quote, but something along the lines of, just because you're a shy person and you have a shy personality doesn't mean you have to let people dictate what you do. Something along those lines. I was like, that's what I've been trying to say. Of course, Sarah says it better, of course. But it was just so adorable. And something else that I love that Sarah M. Eden does is, and she's done this in another one of my favorite series, the Jonquil Brothers, that's what it was. She has our main female character use a cane. In this case, her foot was hurt or something when she was young and it was never set properly, and so she has to use a cane to walk. And she's used that kind of storyline with another character, and I love that. In this time, gentlemen used canes regularly. That was just part of their wardrobe. But women, and she even mentions that in here, that women just generally don't. But I love that that was part of Amelia's character here. I like that. Anyway, I loved the bad guy. He was a really good bad guy. I loved the family that at the beginning you're like, oh, not nice family for Amelia. And then in the end you're like, hey, there you go. Way to step up type of thing. Anyway, it was brilliant from start to finish. And I highly, highly, highly recommend Sarah M. Eden first off. But this book, like I said, I liked this one a lot better than the first one. There are no recurring characters. You could 1000% read this one on its own. My OCD brain won't let me do that. So anyway, I had to wait for this one to come out. Anyway, I loved it. 5 stars, absolutely fantastic. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. I will now start working on The Rules of Matrimony. Is that what it's called? This is the one I will start working on, The Rules of Matrimony by Annika R. Walker. I have chapter 1. I'm ready to start. I'm trying to finish this by Thursday. Today is Tuesday, the 24th. So hopefully by Thursday I can finish this. It's a very short audiobook, according to what I saw. I'm worse. My phone is being used currently. Anyway, so yes, everything is good. The series are absolutely wonderful. I love making progress in them, and I will see you guys in the next clip. Bye. Okay, you guys, we just ended on the perfect note for this vlog. This series, it's the Matchmaking Mama's Romance series by Annika R. Walker. I have read the other 3, and they were perfect for what they were. Regency romances, clean Regency romances. I knew what I was going to get when I went into them, things like that. Nothing really surprised me, and so they were just sort of average, if you want to use that word. This, however, was adorable. This is the 4th and I think final book in this series, because at the end they sort of wrapped up all the other romances that we've seen previously to this. So we'll see if there's another one. I don't think there will be. But this one we follow Ian. Now Ian is the head of this rebels. Now, the rebels are this group that we've been following thus far, and they help the downtrodden. They help the orphans, they help the widows, they help all those who need their help. But they do it secretly, they do it kind of behind the scenes, and they like it that way. They're good with not getting any credit for it. And Ian has been adamant this entire series. So for 4 books, he had been like, I am not getting married. These mamas are not getting their hooks into me. It is not happening. I am like putting my foot down. I am staying single. I like it that way. All my other friends are idiots for falling in love. How dare they? Yeah, they found good matches, whatever. He's like, not gonna be me. I'm not gonna fall into that trap. So we know that Ian is a curmudgeon. He's like, absolutely not. I'm not doing this. Being the leader, we've seen him previously. So we know Ian really well. He had a fight with his father one day. So in the first chapter, he's taking a nap in the cemetery. He's like, no one will bother me here. I'll be fine. Wrong-o! He runs into Amy. Technically, she runs into him, and their meet cute is probably the cutest one I've ever read. Most of the time, I'm like, okay, whatever, get past it. Let's get on with the story. But this one, I'm driving, and I'm laughing so hard. It was so funny and so unexpected. She's in the cemetery talking to her father, who has previously passed. And he's like, oh, come on. I just wanted a little bit of peace. She thinks he's drunk and has passed out. So she goes to make sure that he's okay. Oh my goodness. It is so funny. It is hilarious. I am laughing so hard as I'm reading this. Anyway, later the mamas get into the mix. And so anyway, it ends up being a marriage of convenience. Amy and Ian take upon themselves to make this arrangement. They both want things from their family. She doesn't want to be married to her icky, creepy cousin. He wants his father to get off of his back. And he doesn't have the best relationship with his father at all. The father has made some mistakes, and Ian hasn't forgiven him. So there's lots of tension, and the poor mom is in the middle of it. And so to get the dad off his back and the cousin out of the way for Amy, they decide to get married. And Ian's like, you will live over here. I will live over here. We will not see each other. We will not talk unless we will not touch. Like, we will do absolutely nothing. There are specific rules. I love it when the book itself has the name in it. He's like, these are our rules for matrimony. There is no touching. There is like, he has a bunch of them. Anyway, so funny. And of course, Amy, being a spunky, funny character, she breaks all of them. And he just sort of like, okay, that's not cool, but we'll try again. Oh my goodness, it is adorable. It's forced proximity, which is one of my favorite tropes. I love it. I hate it when romances, they don't even meet until halfway through, and then anyway, side note, and Marriage of Convenience is also one of my favorites. I loved it. It was absolutely adorable. The ending wraps up all the other ones as well. So I'm pretty sure that this is going to be the last one in this series. Perfect ending to a really cute series. I would totally recommend any of the other series in this vlog. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope to talk to you guys in the comments. Please subscribe for more of the craziness that happens here on the channel, and I'm really grateful for you guys and taking this time to spend with me. Read it. It's good. Bye!